Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Joffrey Noodle Legs here today, and here we are today with another top 10. It could be the last top 10 of 2022, I don't know, because it's going to be my top 10 favourite Christmas movies. Heads up, they're not all horror films, okay? So shock horror. So don't be disappointed, okay? There is a good sort of 5-6 horror films in here, but there's a 3 or 4 that isn't horror films, okay? But they're in here because I love them, and they're my seasonal favourites. I love them. So I've got a top 10, and I've got one honourable mention. Really cheesy film at number 10. You're going to say, what? Jingle All the Way. I love this film. Now, the history behind this film is, this sort of came out when my son, Lemon Law, was really young. And he was so into action figures. And this film came out the same year that Small Soldiers came out. And I bought him, they were like about that big, action figures. I bought Chip Hazard in Stevenage at Toys R Us. I think it was about $29.99. But we couldn't find Archer anywhere, so I had to hunt Archer down. And this film is pretty much that. It's about a dad hunting down a figure for his son for Christmas. Two dads sort of like battling over this action figure. And it kind of reminds me of that. And I finally got him that Archer, but I got him at Hamleys in Oxford Circus, and it cost me £60, double the price. Wow. But still, he's worth it. He's my boy. And I weren't going to disappoint him on Christmas Day. So he had those two. And that reminds me of this, because they're in hunt of this sort of like action figure, like almost like a Power Ranger sort of thing. And in the end, Arnold Schwarzenegger sort of dresses up as him and all sorts of things. Really fun film. I really enjoyed it. Cheesy as hell, rubbish, but fun. That's an honourable mention. So I spent a lot of time on that, haven't I? So let's get to me top 10. Number 10 is a horror, 1980s horror movie slasher film, and it's Christmas Evil. I did do a review of this film, guys, on my Christmas horror movie week about a week or so ago. Go and check it out if you get a chance. It's about this guy who's got a few sort of like psychiatric issues going on. He's obsessed with Santa and toys and stuff like that, and he goes out on the sort of killing spree on people that are naughty. So it's a good typical sort of slasher. 88 films have put that out. It's a cool film. Yeah, really good, fun film. Number 9 is a classic. It's an old black and white film with James Stewart, and it's A Wonderful Life. I do like this film, and it is, I wouldn't class it as a horror, but it's got horror elements, isn't it? Because it's like him sort of like discovering what the world would be like if he wasn't born, and it's got like a you know, like an angel in there and stuff. So it's kind of a horrible story in the sense of like what the world would have been like if you weren't actually born. So there is that sort of element of sort of like horror in it, but it's not a horror film. It's a Christmas warm traditional sort of story, and it's great. Fantastic film. Really loved that film. Just really good. It's just good to watch. You know, it's a classic, isn't it? So I had to put it in there. That's at number 9. Number 8, it's another horror film, and I did this one on my review week, and it's ATM. It's another slasher film about these 3 guys stuck in an ATM and a killer outside, and they're trying to escape him. And there's lots of goings on and disturbing sort of film. I did do a review, so check that out on my channel. Really cool film, ATM, underrated really, and it's a really good Christmassy sort of film. That's in at number 8. Number 7, it's Garbage Day, and it's Deadly Night, Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, starring Eric Freeman. What a great film, amazing film. You might have caught the review on my page. Really good film. This would have got higher if the first 45 minutes of the film wasn't Part 1. So yeah, that's the only thing that sort of like lets this film down. Like I said to in my review, it only needs like a 15-20 minutes of that, and we could have had more story about Ricky in there, which would have been even better. But that's a really cool film at number 7, Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. Number 6, it's number 1 in this one, Lethal Weapon, number 1. People say Lethal Weapon, a Christmas movie. Yes. The first Lethal Weapon was based at Christmas time. It's about 2 cops. It's about one cop played by Mel Gibson, who's like on the edge of, he doesn't really care if he, you know, which makes him dangerous. And it's based around the sort of Christmas time, and they're sort of hunting down these drug dealers that are selling these bad drugs that are killing people. And yeah, and it's all based around the Christmas period. And he becomes friends with the other policeman, and he goes there for Christmas dinner, and it's all this sort of thing. It is a Christmas film. I class it as a Christmas action movie. Really cool film. In number 6, Lethal Weapon. And there's another one in number 5, and it's Die Hard by Bruce Willis. Again, another one that's based around Christmas time. This is about a Christmas office party that's been taken over by some terrorists, but they haven't realised that John McClane is there, and he's hiding somewhere, and he gets his revenge on the terrorists that are holding the rest of these party as hostages. Really cool film. Definitely a Christmas film. These are both Christmas movies, guys, and they're both awesome. Really, really cool. Like I said, it's not all horror in my Christmas films, is it? So we're getting down to the top 4. Number 4 is a horror. It's a classic from 1974 or 73. It's Black Christmas. Great film. Again, I did review this on my Christmas horror movie review week. Another great film. Very similar to When a Stranger Calls. It's about a sort of killer that's stalking these girls in a sorority house, and he's actually in the house itself, a bit like When a Stranger Calls. And it's a really cool slasher movie. It's one of the earlier sort of slasher movies that sort of started the genre, along with Bay of Blood, that sort of time. It's one of the earlier sort of slasher films that was a good big influence on a lot of upcoming slasher movies after this. That's in at number 4, Black Christmas. Number 3 is a comedy, and it's National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. So I had to put this in there because, again, it's just good fun. It's just a cool movie. I like to watch it. I find it really funny. Not a huge Chevy Chase fan, but he's funny in this. I do like these sort of like National Lampoon food. The European Vacation was good too, but I just like the Christmas Vacation. I thought it's good fun. You know, it's you want a bit of fun around the Christmas time, and it can't all be horror. But yeah, I just absolutely adore that film. Really, really cool. That's in at number 3. It's one of my third favourite Christmas movie. Number 2 was also in my horror movie review week, and it's Silent Night, Deadly Night. Love this film. Really cheesy, and a lot of people thinking, well, how can you put that so high? I just love the film. I think it's great. I like the story. I like the characters. I like the way it was acted. I just like everything about it. It's just a top film. I gave it a 10 out of 10 on my movie review, just because I love it that much. Really good film. So, number 1, my favourite Christmas movie has to be Gremlins. What else could it be? What amazing film. I mean, this came out when I was quite young. I was in my teens, and I went to see it at the cinema. Absolutely adored it. Second one I enjoyed, but nowhere near as good as this. Did not carry the same sort of magic or atmosphere as this film. This I do class as a horror movie. It's a Christmas horror film. It's about this little sort of Chinese magical creature called a Mogwai. Or was it a Gizmo? Something like that. I think it's a Gizmo, and his name is Mogwai. And if you get them wet, they multiply. If you feed them after midnight, they turn into the evil sort of like creatures. Which you can sort of see the shadow of one there. It turns into like a gremlin. And also, he comes into contact with water, so he multiplies, and they all eat after midnight, and they all turn into gremlins, apart from Mogwai. And they all get terrorise the town, killing people, and just just damaging everything. It's hysterical, but it's quite gory, and it's quite scary. There's quite a gory scene with one of them in the microwave. Yeah, it's quite a... They're very unpleasant. That's all I can say. But it's a great movie. If I could get away with reviewing this film, I would. Who knows? Maybe I'll try. But that is my favourite Christmas movie of all time, Gremlins. Yes, I left out Krampus. I've left out the export film, the Norwegian film. I've left out all these sort of other films, Christmas Carol. Just because I can only fit 10 in 10, guys. You know, I do love those movies. Krampus I like, but I've seen it so many times. And Krampus to me is like a poor man, sort of, almost like a poor man version of mixture of this and like a sort of, I don't know, like almost just a creature feature mixed with Gremlins. And I just didn't think it had anything unique to it, apart from the cast, which were really good. They were really, really cool. But it was a good film. I just couldn't put it in my top 10. But that is my top 10. What is yours, guys? Let me know down below. Please. Have a great Christmas. Alright? Try and watch some of these movies if you can. You know, I'll put a good mixture in there. There's some comedies in there for you. You know? There's some monster flicks. You know? There's some horror movies in there. And I've even put in a couple of action films for you, for your Christmas viewings. I've covered all bases, haven't I? All great movies. Merry Christmas, guys.